I'm Nancy from Black Sheep Knitting here, sitting in my yarn shop in Needham, Massachusetts. We're a local yarn shop and we have lots of classes, workshops, and lots of yarn. And today I'm going to show you some great new yarns that we got in the shop. But first I want to talk about one thing that I've learned about working in retail. And I think it's a lesson for all of us that people have good days and people have bad days. And you never know what's happening in someone's life. So for those of us who are working in a retail shop, we need to always remember that if a customer comes in and hits us the wrong way, you know, something could be going on in their life, you know, and we have to remember that. And that's vice versa. That works the same for the customer. When you go into a store and somebody does or says something that you don't like or something that makes you unhappy, remember they too could be going through something and they could have a bad day. So I think it behooves us all to remember that as consumers and as people who work in service industries, that people have things going on, and gosh knows we've had a lot in the last couple of years. I know I have good days and I have bad days. I know I have days when my shoulder hurts and I'm a little crabby, and I can't quite help that. I try to remember not to be, but it does happen. So now, that said, if you go somewhere and they're consistently mean to you, don't go back. But we try really hard here at Black Sheep to be nice to our customers. And you know, if you have something that goes wrong when you're here in the shop, let me know. I mean, I can address it, and hopefully that never happens to you, because I have an unbelievably experienced and wonderful staff. But just keep that in mind, that everybody's got something going on. Not every day, obviously, but some days. So that's what I've learned about working retail now for 17 years, and I try to keep that in mind. I wanted to talk to you about what we want to do this summer. We're going to do a series of, I'm going to be giving tips and tricks. Well, these aren't tips. They're not tricks. These are tips on how to be a better knitter. And we really want you to be better knitters. We all strive to be better, I guess, at everything that we do. And in knitting, there are lots of ways to achieve that. So every week I'm going to be talking about that. People come in all the time, you know, with issues and problems, and we try to be helpful. So when I do suggest that to you as new knitters, more advanced knitters, we're here to help you. So we love it when you come in and have a problem that we can solve for you. We love to help people. We do suggest that if you have something, and we'll let you know if it's going to take more than 15 minutes or 20 minutes to help you, that we sometimes recommend a private lesson or half an hour private lesson, or join a class. But if you're stuck on something, come in and we're happy to help you. But I've jotted down some things that I think are important to start out to think about becoming a better knitter. One thing I would say is to always organize your tools. And I don't have them here, but I was sitting on my couch knitting, and I have a little cup next to me, and it's was filled with stitch markers and needles and all kinds of things. And every time I reach for a stitch marker, I can't tell you how much time I waste trying to get through the morass of stuff that I have. So I recommend organizing things that you use all the time. When you go places, bring your little, and we have them here in the shop, your little notions bag. And in there, have your little, now see, I haven't organized this yet, but I'm going to. Have your little things like this that have all your stitch markers so that you can just reach in and grab them. And talking about stitch markers, another thing, so that's a good thing. Be organized. Have your needles organized. I have mine. I'll get to what I was going to say in a minute. I have mine all in plastic Ziploc bags, organized by needle size. One person I know was talking about how they put all their 16-inch needles all together in one bag because they don't use them that often, so they don't need to root through and sort through those when they're looking for a needle. But I keep mine organized. I've seen other ways of organizing them, but that's a good thing so that you don't. So I guess what I'm trying to say is let's find ways not to waste time. Let's find ways to be more efficient so that your knitting experience is a pleasurable one. So one of the things I think helps you right off the bat is when you're casting on, if you have to cast on over 100 stitches, have your little stitch markers there and stick in a stitch marker every 20 stitches. Most knitters, unless you're really smart, cast or count by twos. So when you're counting stitches, do it by twos. I've seen some people who can do it by fours, you know, whatever is comfortable. But don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That doesn't work very well. The other thing, and we'll go into this a little bit further, is do your gauge swatch. So good knitters always do gauge swatches. And lastly for today, I was going to say, when you're thinking about a project, think about what you like to knit. If you hate cables, don't pick a sweater with cables, go buy one, or get somebody else to knit it for you. So be aware of what kind of knitter are you? Are you a process knitter? Are you a project knitter? Do you love just plain old garter stitch? Do you love just stockinette? So that will, if you're knitting on something pleasurable, you're going to like it, you're going to like knitting it, and finally, you should knit a little bit every day or every 2 days. Don't think you're going to become a really good knitter by knitting once a week when you go to knitting class. Doesn't work. You need to, your fingers need to get that muscle memory. You need to be repeating, and that will help you to get better at what you do. So next time we will talk about other helpful hints to help you become a better knitter. And we're going to work on that all summer. And hopefully by the end of the summer, you will improve. I want to go back to this. I have a real love-hate relationship with this Paul Clay sweater that I've been doing. And you've seen it. So I started it a couple of weeks ago, and this is what I started with. So I decided, I don't know, I wanted to take out one of the colors, I wanted to do something. And I thought, I'm going to try this on. I had done a gauge, but it's too small. So that one got ripped out. It hasn't been totally ripped out. And I started a new one. And in doing that, I looked at the pattern, and I love all this color. And on the smaller size, you only do about, I don't have the pattern in front of me at the moment, but you don't do as many colors. So in the larger size, you do many more colors because the yoke is longer. So I decided I'm going to do, and I like the needle that I'm on, I like the fabric on this needle, so I went up 2 sizes in the pattern because I want more of the color work in the yoke. It might be a little baggier on me, but I will probably make the sleeves shorter than the pattern says, and I will probably make it lengthwise shorter. So I'm much happier, and I had one of the other reasons I kept looking at this. I just didn't like this color combination at the beginning. Something about it just bugged me. So here I am with some of the same colors, some new colors. I did some more stash diving, and I'm I'm liking it a lot better, and I'm so glad that this has to get blocked out, obviously. I'm so glad that I took it out and made that decision. And that's another thing. Good knitters rip. Do not be afraid to rip something out and start over. I mean, I was knitting on this and I recast this on a few days ago, and look where I am. So, of course, you all know I'm an obsessive knitter. I knit all the time. Anyway, that's that project. I wanted to show you, this has been so exciting. We have new yarns in the shop. And no, I dropped those things, Robin, over there. Oops. So I wanted to show you, this is a yarn that we used to have, and no, I don't remember why we stopped getting it. But the colors are so beautiful, and the patterns in this company are great. So it's the Blue Sky Organic Cotton. And I'm going to show you two suggestions for three suggestions for patterns for this. One is called Tulsa Tank, and another one is called Lakewood Tea. So these are two patterns that I recommend. And this one we've had around for a long time, and I just love this. This is from Pearl Soho, and it's their chevron baby blanket. And look at the colors in that. This is a great baby blanket. You're on a good sized needle, and you just repeat these colors. They're just gorgeous. So I love this blanket. So I'm going to show you some of the colors, and the colors are just fantastic. Maybe I'll show you things that I think go together really well. Look at those together. I think those are beautiful. So I'll tell you what the colors are. This is Plum Dusk. Why there's plum in that, I don't know. This is the Bone, which I love. Very pretty. This is called Sky. Pale, pale, pale blue. These are the colors that were in that blanket that I just showed you, and they are some of the colors. I think this green is a little different. This is Pink Parfait, and we have Lotus and Aloe. Look at that one. And Lemongrass. And this is a personal favorite of mine. I don't know why I'm into orange lately, but I really am. This is called Pumpkin. And Bluefin. That's a beautiful, kind of a marine blue, I think I would call that. This one is Thistle. And I especially love that with this, which is called Orchid. And this one is called Shell. Look at those three together. And finally, we have Raspberry and Periwinkle. So this is a gorgeous cotton. It knits up beautifully. If you want a baby blanket that is super soft and a mom isn't going to complain that their baby might be allergic to it, this is a beautiful cotton for this. It's a word. If you look this up, you're going to see it. Somebody might call it worsted, and somebody might call it Aran. And I want to remind you that these are designations that differ depending which designer or knitter that you talk to. I think this knits really nicely at 4.5 or 4 stitches to the inch. So I often call worsted 4.5 to the inch. Some people call worsted 5 to 4.5 to the inch. And then other people call, and I call 4 to the inch Aran. So I'm all over the place here. So the bigger size would be 4 to the inch, which I call an Aran. Then a little bit smaller is 4.5, and a little bit smaller than that is 5 to the inch. But that's differs all across the board. So when you're knitting I always look at the stitches per inch and the needle size rather than whether someone tells you it's Aran or worsted, because we've seen this described as both. And so you can get tripped up there looking for a yarn, for a pattern. Anyway, this is a beautiful, beautiful piece. Then we have a Lena extravaganza. So Lena is a yarn that we love. It's from Sandnes Garn, and the fiber content is wool, cotton, and linen. Am I saying that right? No, it's cotton and linen. So I'm starting. Those of you remember the Winslow tee that I did that was striped, I now am going to do the same pattern with those slipped stitches, but I'm going to do it all in white because I want a white summer top. So I've started mine today, and the gauge, this is a DK weight yarn, but when I did my swatch, I got a fabric that I really liked at a sport weight. So I'm using a sport weight pattern for this, but this works really well at DK. So some of the colors that we have, this gorgeous beige, well, I would call it a linen color. The colors here are just, I can't get over how beautiful they are. This is an aqua, a pale aqua. Then we have kind of a sagey green. Robin's just going to hand these to me. This one is like the other cotton that we had, sort of a apple green. Yeah, like green apples. And then we have this beautiful, beautiful blue. This one I love, and I just think there's something really pretty about this blue. That dusty blue. Robin's going to name them for us. I think they have names, but I don't know what they are. And this is a really pretty pink. It's not a baby pink. It's not an icky pink. It's a very dusty rose and very wearable pink. And here we have a gray, for those of you who love gray. And then a pink, ooh, that would go nicely with it. This is another pink that's more of a real pinky pink. Look at those two together. I'm really into stripes, so that one could have my name on it. What else have we got? Oh, yeah, this one. And I have to show you these together because I think they're very cool. So there's this sort of bricky color red. Then there's this gold. And then this just warm, I don't know what, butter. Yeah, so look at those together. Wouldn't that be great? And then we have this, which is kind of a, Robin, what would you call this one? It has shade, what, wheat? But it's got a green tinge to it. I kind of like that.
Fresh wheat.
Oh, fresh wheat. Not ripe wheat. We're punchy today, I have to say. Then the white that I'm going to use. And another beautiful aqua. Boy, is that a gorgeous summer color. These two. Boy, they're very similar. Oh well. So there's something for everyone. So I want to show you some patterns that I think would be really great for this. I showed this on Instagram the other day, and this is called Cruel Summer. Why it's called that, I have no idea. But this is a great cardie for the summer, I think. And this Lena would be perfect. We knit it in chai, which is a Barocco yarn, which is a linen and silk blend. But it would be great in the Lena. And the Lena has wonderful drape, and that's a really easy pattern without a lot of shaping to it. We have another one that we just love, that this one also is in chai. And I like this one because, of course, I like the stripes. This one is called Summer Tea. And I like this a lot because if you see look at the raglan on it, has just that little design, and it's on the front and the back. So a very pretty summer top to wear, and very simple to knit. These are great to knit because they're short sleeves and some of them are kind of cropped. So you can get them done pretty quickly. And then our favorite one is called Patty. And this we did in the, it's Lang, I think it's a Lang. No, it's a Barocco yarn called Loomy. And it has a little bit of a glitter in it, gold glitter. These are some of the colors that we have in it. But it would be fantastic in the Lena. So I think that's going to have my name on it this summer, I think. And this looks great over a shirt, you know, a little light little shirt. And I have, so this is way aside from anything, but you know, I'm older and I'm getting the very wrinkled, you know, I'm Irish heritage, been out in the sun too much, and I have lots of freckles and wrinkles on my arms are so wrinkled, and I'm always trying to hide them. And the other day I saw a picture of Helen Mirren, the wonderful actress who was in Cannes at the Cannes Film Festival with her husband. And she was wearing, you know, beautiful blazer and stuff, but they also then showed her on a balcony with her camera taking pictures in a short sleeve shirt. And I thought, she's got the same wrinkles I have. And if she's not embarrassed about those wrinkles, then I'm not going to be either. So make yourself a sleeveless or a short sleeve top. Don't worry if your arms are wrinkled. Mine are about the most wrinkled of anybody I know. So I'm just going to bare my arms this summer, I think. So I think that that is all I have for today. Did want to mention, and I think I mentioned this last week, that we had Bruce Weinstein was here for a workshop on Saturday, and he brought us amazing vegan lunch. And he brought his books because he's a cookbook author as well as a knitting book author. And so he made these fabulous salads for us. And it was such a successful workshop that all the women wanted him to come back. So he's going to come back in August for a day. I think it's August 5th is the day that we chose. And he's going to do a workshop on knitting faster. And you'll be fascinated to see what he's going to have you do. And I think he's doing another one of his textured stitches. And when I went around the room, I was here during the workshop, and saw the textures that people got. He did 2 textures in the morning and I think 2 in the afternoon. And some were multicolored and the texture was just in a single color. The stuff that people came up with, and they were so excited to use these stitches in, you know, in something else. So he's a really fun guy, and people didn't want to leave. They had a great time. So mark that on your calendar, August 5th, he'll be back. So I hope you have a great week of knitting. Remember, try to knit a little bit each day or every other day, so you get better at what you're doing and you can make progress. Just a little bit every day helps. So I hope you have a great week. Enjoy the weather, and we'll see you next time. Bye.